Hey guys, welcome back to Braddels Gaming and to another episode of my Far Cry 5 custom map series. This map is called Scrapyard Deathmatch on the Xbox One, and it is a deathmatch map. I mean, that's probably the most obvious thing you've heard today. And one thing you guys may have realized is that this map does look very familiar to my Scrapyard map, a video I posted 3 weeks ago and a map I also published about a month ago. And you'd be right, because this is the exact same map. It's just that I've made a few major changes, a few minor changes, such as adding detail, the major changes, sort of removing the invisible barriers that were present in the Team Deathmatch version, and also just some other improvements, which I'll get onto later in this video. If you guys want to see an extended analysis of each section breakdown, I definitely suggest you guys go and watch the video from 3 weeks ago, because in that video I basically break down each section of the map and my decisions for why I made the map that way. But in this video, it's going to be a lot more brief. It's just going to be me showing you guys some areas that I sort of changed up and some thoughts on the Team Deathmatch version and how it compares to the Deathmatch version. So the first thing that I want to say is that this map definitely plays out a lot better than the Team Deathmatch version. In the Team Deathmatch version, you'd have one team sort of spawning in the area that I'm heading to right now, from this sort of pile of cars to that building there. And there was no issue with this side of the spawn. However, on the other side of the map, there was. I found myself, if I was on this team, we would basically just rush to the other side and we would constantly spawn kill the other team. Even though I tried to spread out the spawns on the other side, closest to the train container, I found that that section was a lot more compact and a little bit harder to get out of the spawn, as opposed to this section over here. And I feel that may have been because on this side there is unfortunately only really 2 lanes that you can get out. You can only come out this way, or you can only come out sort of this way, whereas on that side you can get out 3 ways, so it just means that it's a lot easier for you to get out. So in the Team Deathmatch version, where spawn killing was an issue, the Deathmatch version definitely is a lot better on that end, because in Deathmatch there is obviously spontaneous spawning, so you can't really sit around one spawn and spawn kill that same spot all day, because if you stayed in that same spot, there's probably going to be another person coming up behind you to take you down. Because in Deathmatch, everyone is against each other. You've basically got to kind of be forced to move around. You can't just camp in one spot or spawn kill, because you really can't spawn kill. It's kind of impossible. Even for the map maker such as myself, who knows where all the spawns are, I still found myself constantly being drawn into gunfights. And you guys will see the gameplay of that right after this preview. I apologize that, while I'm commentating for now, you guys can only see me running around the map, but hopefully you guys may be able to observe some changes that I made, such as piling these cars up a little bit more, and these ones as well, just to add a little bit more detail, a little bit more color, and make the map a little bit more beautiful. Damn it, I forgot what I was saying only about 10 seconds ago, but I will show you guys this nice little cool feature really quick here. And this is a little sort of micro destruction event. They have these in Battlefield, I believe, and maybe Call of Duty. Yeah, they have these in Call of Duty, where you can actually blow these bits of the map up. And what it does is it opens up an entirely new pathway for you guys to move around the map. This is probably the easiest way to get on top of this huge car hill, because it's a nice flat smooth terrain for you to run up and down, as opposed to trying to climb this hill from this point here, where you have to try and double jump and jiggle all around these cars. It can be a pretty time consuming process and will definitely make you very vulnerable to enemy fire. Now I'm going to go through a few more other changes that I implemented into the map, just a few minor ones first. So I've added some spawn points here. Originally I had a spawn point, I can't really show you guys right now, but it was way over there and it was very sort of exposed to gunfire, and as a result I decided to add another spawn point here. And the reason for that is because this spawn point just offers a whole lot more cover. You know, you've got these nice pile of cars that's going to give you a lot of cover from anyone who's on that hill. I actually looked at the perception from that hill, like I tested it to make sure that if someone was up here, they couldn't see straight at you if you spawned there and they were up here. And similarly with this spawn, yeah, it's the same sort of scenario. You've got a lot of these piled cars protecting you when you spawn, so no one's really going to be able to spawn kill you. One more example is right here. There is another spawn, and again, you can destroy this wooden panel here, or you can just move up the cars to get out of this spawn anyway. Now I'm going to talk about the major change that I made for this map, and that was removing all the invisible barriers. Shout out to Atmore and Ninja on Xbox. You guys know who you are, and if you're watching this video, I want to say a very big thank you, because those two guys really gave me flawless feedback on this map of how I could make it, of how I could convert it from a 3-star to a 4-star map. I found that a lot of people were liking this map due to the visuals, and even the gameplay with the invisible barriers was pretty good too. But in order to make this map an outstanding map, removing the invisible barriers made sure that the gameplay became a lot more open, there was a lot more confrontation, it increased the speed that the gameplay went at, and that was definitely an aim of this map. I was trying to make it as chaotic and fast-paced as I could, even though it is a lot larger than, you know, one of those standard really small size Call of Duty maps. It's still a relatively good size for everyone to fight in, and you'll see in the gameplay coming up that it took the person who won that game about 8 minutes to get the 20 kills that they needed to win for this map. So yeah, removing the invisible barriers definitely helped the gameplay, not only because it increased the confrontation and made the gameplay a lot more open, but also because it stopped people from thinking they were glitching the map. A lot of people were running into the invisible barriers, and this wasn't an issue for myself because I knew where all the invisible barriers were. I knew where all the pathways were, and so I wasn't having the issue of running into invisible barriers like a lot of other people were. A lot of people, you know, they would be, you know, for example, they'd be shot at and they'd think that they could get up here to escape, but then they just keep on running into an invisible barrier somewhere around this point. And then they'd definitely be dead because they'd be facing their backs away from the person who was shooting at them in the first place. And, you know, I didn't really realize this, again, because I knew where all the invisible barriers were. But Ninja, it was his first time playing the map, and he found himself a lot of the time running into invisible barriers and getting very frustrated because he couldn't duck behind cover that was on these hills, like, for example, this bus, to get away from enemy fire, because he thought that he could because, you know, it's not a very steep hill, but he didn't realize that there was an invisible barrier there that he needed to, you know, go around or follow the pathways. So while my original intention was that players would follow these pathways and use them as choke points and that sort of thing, I found that it was a lot better to remove them so that players had a lot more freedom to move around. Anyway guys, that is all for this preview. It's a lot shorter than the Scrapyard preview, the 33-minute one that you guys may have seen on the channel earlier. Obviously that preview wasn't 33 minutes, this was about 23 because it had gameplay as well. But either way, this preview is a lot more shorter, just because I want to give you guys some, some brief changes that I made to the map. But now you guys are going to be able to see some gameplay of the map. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, the preview, the gameplay, and if you guys do, remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new around here, because I definitely plan on uploading some more content in the future weeks. Anyway guys, once again I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
Deathmatch. You're in the lead. Surprise! Gotcha! You're winning! Failure is imminent.